book of Daniel is one of the most amazing books in the Bible. It's full of stories that teach us about God's power and his unwavering commitment to his people. In this video, we're going to summarize the book of Daniel for you, so that you can see how these stories unfold. The main character in our story is a man named Daniel, a young Jewish man who gets taken to the city of Babylon. When the Babylonians conquer his homeland, despite being far away from home and facing a lot of challenges, Daniel never gives up on his faith in God. In fact, he even gets thrown into a den of lions for his beliefs, but God protects him and helps him succeed. This shows us that no matter where we are or what we're going through, we should stay true to our beliefs and never lose hope. Throughout the book, Daniel has many dreams and visions that help him understand God's plan for the future. One of the most famous stories from the book is about Daniel's interpretation of King Nebuchadnezzar's dream. The king had a really scary dream, but no one could figure out what it meant until Daniel came along. Daniel interpreted the dream and told the king that a new kingdom would soon take over Babylon. Even though this wasn't the answer the king wanted to hear, Daniel was honest and humble, and he didn't just interpret the dream. He also explained what it meant for the people of Babylon. This showed the king that God was in control and that no one could stop his plan from happening. Another amazing story is about Daniel and his friends. They were thrown into a fiery furnace because they refused to worship an idol. But God was with them, and he saved them from being burned. This shows us that God cares about us and he wants us to be strong in our beliefs. As the book progresses, we see that God's plan unfolds as predicted. Different kingdoms rise and fall, and eventually, the Messiah is born. The book ends with a vision of the future, showing us that God is in control of everything, and that good will triumph over evil in the end. Now let's talk about some of the important themes in the book of Daniel. First, we have faith in God. Daniel and his friends never gave up on their beliefs, even when they faced a lot of opposition. Their faith inspired other people, and it shows us that we should trust in God no matter what happens. Next, we have God's sovereignty. Throughout the book, we see that God is in control of everything. He allows certain things to happen, but he also works behind the scenes to accomplish his goals. This teaches us that we can trust God even when things seem out of control.
Finally, we have the importance of being faithful. Daniel was always honest and humble, even when it wasn't easy.
He didn't try to hide his beliefs, and he didn't give up on sharing them with others. This inspires us to be faithful to God and to not be afraid to share our beliefs with those around us. The book of Daniel is filled with exciting stories and important lessons. It reminds us that God is in control, and it encourages us to stay strong in our beliefs. So if you haven't read the book of Daniel, we encourage you to do so. You can read it on your own, or you can listen to an audio version. And as you read, remember that God loves you, and he wants you to know his word.